A UNBS report from 2019 highlights persistent challenges in Uganda's food supply chain, including the presence of harmful substances such as arsenic, cadmium, mercury, and pesticides. These issues pose a threat to food safety, potentially impacting the achievement of Sustainable Development Goals 2, 3, and 12 of zero hunger, good health, and well-being, as well as responsible consumption and production. According to Food Agriculture Organization, the country suffers a loss of $77 million on treatment of 3,700 aflatoxin-induced cancer cases. Aflatoxins cause a decline in export value estimated at $7.48 million, which accounts for a 45% reduction in total agricultural export.
According to FAO, the country suffers a loss of $77 million on treatment of 3,700 cases of aflatoxin-induced cancer cases. Aflatoxin causes a decline in export value estimated at $7.48 million, which amounts for a 45% reduction in total agricultural exports. Uganda's maize has severely been rejected in neighboring countries, commonly in Kenya, and recently South Sudan, citing high levels of aflatoxins in grains that have equally contaminated the poultry.
Members of Parliament criticized leaders for their inadequate negotiations, resulting in limited bargaining power and the inability to access the lucrative European market.
EU negotiates as EU. USA negotiates as USA. China is almost half of the world's population and comes on block as China. But we, African countries, our leaders want to go and negotiate as Uganda, instead of them working together to negotiate as Africa.
Since May 15, 2023, the South Sudan National Bureau of Standards has been seizing trucks carrying maize flour, wheat flour, sorghum, and other grain products due to alleged aflatoxin contamination. Despite promises of a swift resolution, the situation persists with ongoing impoundments of trucks carrying similar products.
Emirundi mingi nnyo nga kasooli waffe agobwa ku butale, bannakenya baamugoba, abasudaani be baakasembyeyo mugoba ndowooza sabbiiti ewedde. Naye tewavangayo gavumenti kutulaga kasooli oyo omugobe bwe baamwokyera. Era tebamwokyanga. Era bwe tebamwokya, kitegeeza yakomawo wano mu katale ne tumulya. Wamulya ng'obuwunga, abaana baffe baamulya mu masomero. Abaana baffe gwe balya mu masomero. Gwe balya kubanga abaana baffe mu masomero be basinga okulya obuwunga obusinga obungi.
The issue of post-harvest losses remains a significant concern, primarily attributed to insufficient handling and storage practices at the household level. This results in farmers losing over 30% of their crops each year to issues like insects, pests, mold, and moisture. Furthermore, the country experiences a yearly increase in food safety challenges, with approximately 1.3 million cases of foodborne illnesses reported annually.
But who has told them what they are doing is wrong? Whose responsibility is it to educate the farmer, to make sure what they do is the right thing for the general population in Uganda? What I'm going to talk about here is most of them are questions. Are you aware when COVID came that COVID took almost only 1 million people? But here we are talking about 1.3 million people annually in Uganda dying out of foodborne diseases. What an alarming rate. How I wish everybody could rise up the way they rose up during COVID. You hide in your house because of this.
It's for African countries to come together, create a market for themselves, to determine what comes to Africa, what can go outside Africa. There they will have negotiated, but there is no way you can take 55 African presidents.
Recommendations aiming to address barriers in Uganda's food safety policies include setting targets for Africa Food Safety, Health and Trade Indexes, reducing agricultural product rejections in regional markets, since ordinary Ugandan consumers suffer, and relying on unsafe foods due to government's inaction on banning glyphosate and reviewing the Food and Drugs Act of 1964.